Hey Chris, it's Tyler here, just shooting this quick over-the-shoulder video to give you an update on where we are in terms of our backlink profile and then some rankings with Playground Sessions. So first, I wanted to just jump here and show some of the backlink profile and how it's changed. I don't know if you recall when we first kind of started, we referenced and we looked at the backlink profile here, and it had a lot of like learn to play, learn piano online, and so forth. Now we can see that most of our backlink profile is really brand, which is always a good thing. We've got Playground Sessions making up, most of our backlinks, playgroundsessions.com, which is what you'll see with many branded business sort of websites. So it's a real natural profile. And if we scroll down, we've got a few of our important anchors here with only coming in at less than 1% of the total profile. So what that is in terms of, a good thing is that this used to make up a bulk of our links. And I don't know if you recall, but we went in, we opened some of those links, and those websites really weren't even live anymore. So a lot of those were sort of spammy links. And I said that, you're probably going to see those drop off, and you might see a bit of a drop, and then we'll come back once we build some proper healthy sort of links that are relevant to piano with those terms in it. So now we can see that a lot of those are dropped off. We're not picking them up anymore, which I expected to happen. But now we're going to keep staying with a stronger link profile because we've built these important kind of keyword anchors with some good backlinks. So that's what I expected to see. Those are sort of no longer there. They're in a low percentage, which means we can sort of get a bit more aggressive over the next few months with that. So in terms of the backlink profile, that's sort of improved since we came on sort of the last 8 months or so. Now, if we jump over to look at some rankings, we did see some good improvements, nothing crazy, but sort of a better trend over the last sort of month or so. So beginning of August, we cleaned up that URL duplication that we had, which certainly moving forward was a good thing. Whether or not that has played a factor yet, it's really kind of hard to tell. But for big terms like learn piano, sort of over the summer, we've been hovering in the sort of 20 mark. We can see we jumped to 20 here, and we're kind of hovering in 22, 23, dropped to 27, hovering. And then here in sort of mid-October, we spiked up to 14. So certainly 14 is not amazing, but it's always a good sign when we see a jump and then we stay there. So we've stayed 14 for almost 2 weeks. We dropped down a little bit, which is what you're going to see. You're going to see a rise, a hover, maybe a drop, and then hopefully over the next few months we'll see this jump back up and get closer to position 10. If we can get to sort of position 10 with some of these terms over the next few months, I think that's when we can sort of say, hey, this is encouraging. We're doing well. We can maybe even ramp things up. So that was good to see. It's always good to see jumping up to a new high and sort of staying steady there. Now, if we scroll down to other terms, learn to play piano. Sort of back in August, midsummer, we've been around 20 and we've sort of climbed up. And I think we've hit up to 14 here as well. So again, not a crazy high, but certainly the best we've seen for months, which is always a good sign. It's going to be jumping in and out of there. And then hopefully we can sustain around the mid-teens. And then our next jump is going to be up to sort of top 10, where we jump out of that page 2 and finally get to page 1 with some of these terms. Another one that we saw here, learn to play piano online. So a bit of a longer tail, sort of back in middle of or start of August here, we were at 20 and we've sort of stayed around there, hovering, jumping around, and now we're sort of hit 17, which is always a good sign as well. We haven't had that for the last 3 months. So nothing crazy in terms of big jumps, but always a good sign to see a slight upward rise with all these related terms, and certainly hitting some benchmarks like 14 that we haven't seen for quite a while. So, we started 8 months ago. We had a lot of spammy links that we looked at that I anticipated would fall off, and they have all fallen off, and some of the rankings dropped. But now over the last sort of 3 months, we can see some good, somewhat movement up, which is always encouraging. So 8 months in, with the linking profile that we sort of had. This might be typical. I would suspect, and over the next couple months, and even when we get around 12-month mark, it would be great if we're sort of in the top 10 for these big terms: learn piano, learn to play piano online, learn piano online, and so forth. So in terms of changing things up, always a timeline and a time frame. I don't know in terms of budgets if you want to throw more at this. I would sort of recommend, we've seen a good movement over the last few months. If we can just stick with this, and then once we hit top 10, if you really want to ramp it up, if you have that budget, I'm not really sure with how that all works on your end. You can consider doing that, or you can consider doing that now. I would like us to get to that top 10, and then we can really kind of ramp it up if that's what you want. So that's sort of the suggestions going forward. The only other minor thing that maybe we'll play with in the new year, I can talk to Ben, is just our title now is Playground Sessions Piano Lessons, learn to play piano online. If anything, we can play around with this and put learn to play piano online at the beginning, and then Playground Sessions Piano Lessons. I'll talk to Ben about that. It's not a huge major change, but playing around with titles can always or can potentially give us a little bit of boost as well. But maybe not right now, but in the next few months, if we're sort of lingering here, we can think about just bringing learn to play piano online in the beginning of this title, and I'll mention that to Ben as well. So there's a quick update. Nothing crazy, but we're seeing some better movement here and a bit more stable coming out of the summer, and that's sort of where we are right now. So let me know that you watched this video, Chris, and let me know if you're happy just to stay with where we are for the next few months, maybe the end of the year, and your thoughts on that. And I'll send you a quick email as well. Okay, take care.